no-go zones in Sweden? I didn't think there were such places, but there are no-go zones where the police do not go. While he was there, he was jumped by 5, apparently, Islamic thugs. The filmmaker Ami Horowitz is the man who went over there, and he joins us right now. First of all, I didn't know there was any such thing as a no-go zone in a place like Stockholm, Sweden. There is?
I heard about them. The truth is, I didn't actually believe they were real. Right? I figured this is probably some kind of propaganda. Yes. I went there, met with the police officers. They said, when we're pursuing a suspect and they cross that threshold, and there's about 30 or 40 of them in Sweden, they will not pursue. They will simply not pursue.
There are 30 or 40 no-go zones in Swedish towns and cities.
Correct.
30 to 40 of them.
That's right.
Did you say that there were guns being used in these no-go zones?
They used to have, about 5 years ago, the police officers who I met with would say they'd have an incident of gun violence, let's say once a month, once every few months. Every day there's gun violence going on. And it's not simply staying, here's the problem, it's not simply staying in these enclaves, which, by the way, they say are states within states. Swedish law doesn't apply in these places. What they do is they're now coming out, and it's become the rape capital of Europe.
You're kidding me.
No.
Now, here in America, we're told, frequently told, that everything's going just fine in Europe. We know there are isolated incidents of culture clashes, and we know about that. But we did not know that there were 30 or 40 no-go zones in a place like Sweden. What's going on? Why are we not getting the full story?
Well, first of all, Sweden has done a phenomenal job of trying to cover it up. So, for example, there were a series of music festivals in Sweden, and there were these gang rapes that went all across these music festivals. They specifically tried to hide the attacks themselves, but they couldn't because there were just so many victims. It wasn't dissimilar to what happened in New Year's Eve in Germany.
In Cologne, yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Same thing, where the government is specifically trying to cover it up, and more than that, what they're desperately trying to do is cover up the ethnicity of the people making the attacks.
Why?
Because
they know they've got a problem,
yes,
and they know they can't do a thing about it.
They're doubling down. They're bringing in as many migrants as they possibly can to Sweden.
Well, what do the Swedes think about this? Good Lord.
The Swedes they're not Vikings. The Vikings are gone. They're a sweet people. They want to help, and if you bring up the ethnicity of any of these attackers, the first thing they say to you is you're a racist. You're a racist.
You are in a crisis. You went to the Muslim countries and you imported the garbage that the Muslim countries wanted to put in prison or isolate away from society. But these Islamist extremists, they don't want to work, they want free welfare. They want to marry French women, blonde hair, blue eyes. They don't have time to work. So look at Poland. They don't complain from Islamic extremism, not a single terrorist attack in Poland. The moment they sense there's a problem, they crack down on it. Polish policy, beautiful.
How about Al-Qaeda?
Al-Qaeda وين هي؟
Where is Al-Qaeda?
Al-Qaeda هنا في نيويورك.
Al-Qaeda is here in New York.
من هو بن لادن؟
Who is he, Bin Laden?
He committed a heinous act.
هو بن لادن عملها.
Bin Laden made this heinous act.
You don't think what Osama bin Laden did was wrong?
هل هو كان في إحدى الطائرات اللي ضربت الأبراج؟
Was he on board one of those aircraft
No,
that hit the towers?
but he took credit for sending them.
لا هذا شيء ثاني لكن.
This is another thing.
يعني ما أعتقدش الآن بين أيدينا حكم قانوني ضد بن لادن بهالخصوص.
I don't think that in front of us we have a court sentence vis-à-vis Bin Laden or on this regard.
يعني الإرهابيين اللي ضربوا نيويورك ما هوش أفغان.
The terrorists who hit New York are not from Afghan. They're not Afghani.
ما طلعوش من الطائرات من أفغانستان أو من العراق.
They did not use the airplanes or take off from Iraq or Afghanistan by airplanes.
طلعوا من مطار كندي هنا.
They flew from JFK airport here in New York.
هو العمل كله حصل داخل أمريكا.
The whole action was done here.
وتدربوا هنا في أمريكا.
They were trained here.
لم يتدربوا في العراق. ولم يتدربوا في أفغانستان.
They did not train, or they were not trained in Iraq or in Afghan.
Oh, there. Okay.
Brother, I want you to give me a 5. What you mean?